Better. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Dave, Mark. Welcome along. It's 20.4 degrees up here, Mark. 28 was, I think it was higher than 28, but yeah. So anyhow, I've been caught with the pants down a little bit. It's a good thing that we've got daughter back in the land of Oz. G'day, Andy. How you doing? So anyhow, I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball. Normally I'm hopeless, but I'm just more hopeless tonight because they haven't long come in, and she did an overnight flight, and to get home here was a bit of an enduring battle, but the good thing is they made it. So that's all wonderful. I did have, here we go. Here it is. I did have a little bit of intro music. Adrian, welcome. Nathan, welcome. An intro music. Now, hang on, this is the one. I had it all worked out. And I wrote down a few bit of stuff, but right about there, and go about there. Yeah, so I'm talking myself through this stuff. As I'm kind of doing it, which is not very professional. Normally, I'd really do something a bit better than that, but I think understand a bit of excitement there. And I spend Dave, the foreigner bloke. Welcome along, mate. I'll direct a few comments for you at the moment. I'll just play this little bit of intro, and now, as we know, I haven't been able to travel and things like that. And now that the possibilities there, and I shall. And I've renewed my interest in what's happening in Thailand and a bit of news and things like that. Now,
this is the local and national.
I'm going to play a couple of bits. Basically, it's going to sound like sour grapes, but off a channel that used to steal all our stuff years ago. So I'm just returning the favour, but I'm actually going to put it on screen. And this one is in reference to a bomb blast. And now this kind of stuff's been going on for quite a while, but anyhow, I'll just play it. It's Fabulous 103 in Pattaya. If they've got any problems with it, I don't really care. We never struck them on talkback for stealing our shit. So anyhow, it doesn't matter. So anyhow, I'm gonna share this. Where am I?
to set a bomb for detonation at a water pumping station yesterday. The bomb went off, leaving him heavily injured. 1:30 in the morning saw locals hear an explosion. CCTV caught two men on a motorbike pulling up before, one getting off and plant the bomb, and the bike rider speed off after the explosion. The bomber himself found with multiple face injuries. The plan failed and the pumping station was undamaged. As Chinese tourists swell Thai coffers this weekend, tour groups will resume from February the 5th, according to Chinese authorities, who have approved their relaunch. 20 nations, including Thailand, are on the list of approved destinations, and the Tourist Authority of Thailand predicts 5 million visitors from China this year.
G'day, mate.
Investment from outside Thailand increased last year, according to the Ministry of Commerce, seeing Japan as the largest investor. Japan was followed by Singapore, the US, Hong Kong, and only then China. A Bangkok court has ordered a national...
That's quite interesting, that. As far as investment into Thailand and, you know, what people are doing. Because we all want the kingdom to continue on because it's a place we like to go. But those ones, and there's another story I'm kind of looking for. It was about a Chinese girl that said she hired police to do a cavalcade type thing. Apparently, she put it to YouTube and kind of went, look at me, which doesn't put the police in a good light at the end of the day. And it sends the wrong message, because not every policeman is corrupt. Yes, they're on a low wage. There's a few things they might let's go, but this kind of thing is not common. Although it's actually put across as it's commonplace, which to me is a bit damning for the police themselves. But let's look at it the other way around. The actual police themselves don't get paid a lot of money for what they've got to do and all that kind of stuff. Now, I found that clip.
It could limit political power.
I'll just go back to it. Normally I would have had this all ready, but I think you could probably understand with daughter getting home and all of that kind of stuff. An exciting day. But anyway, I'll share this. And we'll present it. I've got it there. Here we go. Play.
Police in hot water, resulting in 2 traffic officers and a tourist cop to be investigated over delivering the VIP service, a police escort from Bangkok to Pattaya for thousands of Thai baht. The whole thing began when a Chinese tourist posted a TikTok video of what happened after she landed on a Hong Kong Airlines flight to Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok on Thursday at about 10 p.m. In the video, she claimed she paid 7,000 baht for a car motorcade that she and her mother rode in, and 6,000 baht for a motorcycle escort from the airport to Pattaya. The claims led to an investigation by Royal Thai Police, which found that a senior sergeant major proposed a bespoke police escort service to a tour firm offering to whisk Chinese visitors directly from their plane to their hotel. The service also included ushering in the client through an immigration fast lane, according to reports. A motorcycle and a car used in the motorcade were private vehicles, but were attached with sirens and police logos without permission, according to investigators, who went on to say that they are looking into how long the group of policemen had provided the escort service and whether they should be prosecuted for wearing police uniforms while doing so. Legally, police escorts must be approved by a traffic police commander in Bangkok or a highway police commander in other provinces and are only for groups of people in convoys. The officers involved in the escort service have been transferred pending the investigation's conclusion. For more, visit thephuketnews.com.
And I think the Phuket News, that I borrowed that bit of footage of. A couple of points to talk on. Things like that do happen, but it's not day to day. And the portrayal of that by that Chinese person, I don't really myself. It might have happened. That's fine, but normally it's what happened the last time the Chinese were there. Remember the boat and remember all the crap that they thought they could buy their way around. If you go to a place and think that a pocket full of money is going to give you a free rein, I doubt that's going to happen in many countries at all. But it is. It's things like that coming out are not really what the kingdom wants. It doesn't deserve that negative input, in my opinion, because I think we've all really found some wonderful people and had some really good experiences, hospitality, but it's kind of this kind of stuff labels the whole culture, the whole people, and that kind of makes me a little bit on the angrier side. And as we remember the last time the Chinese had free reign, it didn't end good. With a lot of the stuff years ago, from complaining about immigration through to their treatment in general. They thought they should have they should have been treated like royalty just because they were coming back spending some money. But at the end of the day, we've all seen it. The buses turn up at different restaurants, different hotels, different places, and realistically, they're all owned by a Chinese investment. Yes, there's a tie out the front and all the rest of it to make it legal, but it's really the Chinese. And tell me if I'm wrong. I think that kind of thing, where the Chinese think they can just buy everything. Yeah, they've done it in Australia, admittedly. And that's probably why I've got the chip on the shoulders about it, that China think they can just buy everything. And, the lovely place of Thailand, which we all enjoy, has been put back in the spotlight of it's corrupt, it's this, it's that. Well, we all kind of know it's really not. the people, the police officers, and a lot of that are on very low wages. And yes, there is that margin, like a small infringement for parking or whatever, but not the kind of stuff that was put out there. Yeah, there are some rotten apples in every barrel. Yes, Dave. I think every country suffered the same thing. Then the politicians get their back pockets greased too. Don't worry about that, which is a shame, and it just leaves a real bad taste in one's mouth. That with a fistful of dollars you can do what you want. Well, I don't believe that. I really don't believe it. I've never really in Thailand, I've never really paid any bribery, or nor would I. I'm usually on best behaviour and things like that. Yes, that's it. That's it too, Dave. That's the other Dave. Gotta love Thailand. His name's Dave. That foreigner bloke, his name's Dave. So Dave, meet Dave. Yeah, good on you, gents. But it's one of those things that it has been, and it's tainted a few people for a while, that they just think that throwing dollars, baht at it is the answer. Well, it's really not. If you can remember going back a few years ago, the son of the founder of Red Bull, when he ran over the police officer, money will take care of it. Well, he had to escape the country basically, because it didn't matter how much money he had. They weren't giving that up. Bobby Crush, I remember, and Adrian Adrian got spoken to Sukhumvit Road with a cigarette butt incident, dressed like a policeman, but he was actually a cancel worker type of thing. Carrying on. Thanks for reminding me about that one, Bobby. Yes, Mark, they do have their prices, but really they shouldn't, because they're in a job representing the people, and if they haven't got any self-esteem, they're not doing the job that they've been elected to do. Let's face it, that's politics all over the world, but it doesn't really matter that much. It happens, and it's going to continually happen. Now, what do I need to do? I need to do this stuff. Hang on. Copy. Hang on. I don't know why everything's so slow tonight. I could probably tell you why. But anyhow, that's a yeah, that was why I just brought that one up, Adrian, because it made me laugh. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, what the hell? You could have turned around and sort of buzz off, idiot. But you just kind of go, well, what's your problem? Okay. Well, it sounds like, here's a couple of $100 for your time. But anyhow, there's the link in the chat there. If anybody wants to join the stream, I'd appreciate it. But that's just, some of my thoughts. And the other thing is, I do intend to revitalise this channel because I've neglected it for a long time. I really appreciate the people that stuck by it and me, both on this channel and others. But I need to get back into it again. Kind of 3 years of being locked up and that didn't do anyone any good. The dictatorship, the whole thing that went on with the disease we had to have. I'll be honest with you, I virtually became a recluse. Except for when we could have our kind of meetups, and which are good. We had a bit of fun last Friday night. We had a bit of meet-up and a few drinks and a bit of a talk and a laugh and a joke. And it's always good fun because everybody's like-minded. They've got the, very similar attitudes. And although we talk about day-to-day and hopes and dreams and what's happening, it's a good thing because no one's there to shout anybody else down. It's just, sharing funny stories and just talking about what we really like to do is now that we've got our freedoms back to travel around and experience other countries once again, because it's been quite a while since we've been able to travel. So in realism, it's like visiting for the first time again, because I'm just about positive some of the places I used to go and things wouldn't pretty well closed. They're locked up, gone, see you later, But it's something that, for like Dave, Mark that's just come back from Thailand, Steve, they've been living there, doing their on and offs and living there. So they might not notice as much as us blokes doing a return. Although everybody would admit that the changes, because all the shutdowns, a lot of the businesses were geared towards the tourist, the foreigner trade. And when that ceased, everything dried up, which is, in this country, there was, welfare, and it was probably better than half the buggers got working, but other countries weren't so lucky. The spread of the disease we had to have in Thailand. Realistically, a lot of people, if you talk to anybody in Bangkok, they all come from Isan, come from somewhere else, No one's really, not many are born and bred in Bangkok. So, anyhow, well, welcome, Mark. G'day, mate. Welcome.
Good evening, Johnny. Good evening, everybody out there in YouTube land.
How come I'm so big and you're so small?
I don't know.
There we go. There we go.
Scare the shit out of me.
Ah,
I've only just
So
I've
you had
only
a
walked in the
wonderful
door
week.
about 20 minutes ago.
That would have been better than Friday night.
Well, no, I went for a swim last night, then we went to the pub, had lasagna, Jack Daniels, and 2 beers. So, because tomorrow is, of course, Australia Day, so we have the day off.
Well, yes, patriotism. I will be taking. I'll be taking the girls down to the normal haunt where they do a barbecue and eggs and bacon and shit like that, and uh, I'm not interested in their bullshit crap, but I'll go down there and get something to eat that I've already paid for anyway. If as a taxpayer, but yeah, that's long as they don't have Paddy O'Dowd's band thing or whatever. He's been around longer than I have, and he hasn't changed his repertoire. But I think they may as well make a bronze statue and put it down the museum thing and just leave it like that and put a record on. Might be cheaper, but
Hey, Mitch. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. I'll be back in Thailand end of March, so and I'll be there for a bit of a decent stint this time, maybe 4 to 5 weeks. So,
G'day, Mitch. How you doing, mate?
Definitely catch up with you, brother.
Stubbsy, Invasion Day.
Bugger off, Andy. God almighty.
Well, the whole part about it is, I thought it was Handout Day.
Dave's got a question for you, Johnny. He wants to know that Robert Mack in Asia just sent a message to Dave saying that he's typing into the comments, but it's disappearing. Do you know why? I can't say that I've seen any of Robert Mack's.
No, I do not know why.
You want to check your accidentally banned list?
No, Robert is one gentleman I would have never banned.
No, but sometimes someone, is he a moderator on your channel?
Oh shit, I don't know.
Because
remember,
sometimes someone can block them accidentally.
Well, shit. Hang on, how do I do this?
If you're listening there, Robert, I got him onto it.
Your channel, right? I'm doing this stuff. Right, go into this bit, go to there. Right now, where the hell do I want to be?
I saw the temperature up in Surin this morning was down to 14 degrees. So probably all right for Dave, although he's been out of America for a few years now. Maybe he felt the chills. But I know when my wife was over here, she came over in the wintertime here, and we were at Falls Creek, which is one of our snowfields. It was a beautiful sunny day, but it was 3 degrees, and I was skiing in a T-shirt and a lightweight ski jacket, and she was dressed up like the Michelin Man, and that was 3 degrees. So, for anything under 28 degrees, my missus puts a hoodie on too, Dave. So I can sympathise with her because I've seen it firsthand as well. Mitch was
now
moderated.
I go down to the naughty boy. I'm on the naughty boy list here.
I tell you, I was back in Thailand for Christmas for just nearly a month, and it was the mildest time that I've ever been to Thailand, and I'm cracking up a number of trips now, so nearly 30, and I was even mowing the lawns in the middle of the afternoon, which is unheard of for Thailand. I mean, Australia gets hot. At the moment, today was 30 degrees, but it's very dry heat. It's not like 30 degrees in Thailand where it's really humid. And I reckon that's got to add 6 or 7 degrees sometimes. But it was wonderful to be in Thailand over Christmas this year or last year, because it was just, the temperatures were just so mild. You didn't feel the sting in it. It was lovely. 14 there in Surin, 10 degrees in Udon Thani. Oh, that's Australian.
cold.
That's Australian.
That's cold.
It is cold. It's cold here, mate. Don't worry. I got to get the old beanie out when it gets to that sort of temperature.
10 degrees, Dave. I would have. I would basically. I'd have the heater on. But anyhow, Robert, I've just gone through the whole lot of it, and your name is not on my ban list or any of that.
Not on Johnny's naughty list.
No, even it's not even on the real arsehole list. It's not even on none of the list. Yeah. So I don't know what's happening, Robert. I really don't.
So for Dave and Mitch, I'm going trout fishing tomorrow. I don't know. I don't expect to do any good because it's the middle of summer, but it's Australia Day. You got to do something. So I got a whole lot of beers in the fridge and a trout rod. So,
yeah. So, well, where are you going?
Trout fishing at Pikes Creek. So it's about an hour from here on the road to Ballarat.
Yeah, I know Pikes Creek. So what are you going to start at the dam there and work your way back up?
Well, we're going to take my mate's little boat. He's got a little 4.1 or a 4. I think it's a 4.2 Quintrex with a 40 horse on the back. So it'll put three of us blokes in the back, and we'll just putter around. So,
well, you better sit up the front.
What are you saying?
You don't want it to drag its ass on the ground.
I weighed myself at the club tonight. I'm 97.5.
Oh, you've dropped another half a kilogram. What did you go to the toilet before you jumped on the scales?
Yeah, I swam nearly just under a kilometre, about 850 metres, and then my shoulder started to let go. So, then had a sauna. And then had a spa, and then weighed myself. So I think Andy's right. I reckon, you know what, all this controversy, and it irks me, right, that nearly 200 years, 175 years or something.
Well, you might as well say it's over. Actually, it's over 200 years.
Yeah, over 200 years. Well, because actually, you know, the Dutch were the first ones to find Australia of white heritage.
Yeah, but they went to the wrong side.
Yeah. But you know what? You know, I just to have some harmony back into this country, you know what? Call it the 25th, the day that James Cook sailed into Botany Bay, but he was still looking at it from his ship. Not 26th when he touched terra firma. Do it 25th when he first sighted it, when he sailed into Botany Bay. I don't care, but you know, they talk about reconciliation, but there's only one side that claims they want reconciliation, but they're doing everything to oppose it. So you know what? I'm over it. I don't know. Change the date. Let's move on. I don't care.
No, I believe the date should stay the same. What happened? I'm over this. I don't like it. Let's change history. The thing is, it happens. You can take the books off the shelf. It still friggin' happened.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, that's a whole debate, Johnny. I mean, you know.
Oh, look, you know,
current generations of First Nations people, are they still feeling aggrieved for what happened 200 years ago? Apparently, yes. So anyway, well, I'm not saying they don't. But
I'd just like to say to them, well, get over it, go and get stuffed.
That's
you
you, Johnny,
wouldn't-
'cause you're a cantankerous
Yeah.
old bastard.
they wouldn't have
I'd say that on
they
YouTube.
wouldn't have the money they're getting if it wasn't for the white man that built the
Righto.
country.
So you were talking about Thailand before.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
God almighty. I can't believe some of our politicians. Where was that? I missed that. That jumped up pretty quick. You know what? Banana King. I don't know.
Oh, look at
I don't
that.
mind flying. Yeah, I'll fly it. And the Aboriginal flag. I don't care. I'm all for it.
I
It's
learned something then.
what's
Did
that?
you know that you can have standard moderators, and it's like the standard and the deluxe model moderators nowadays? Oh, shit, eh? There's levels of moderation.
Well, I know of a gold class moderator. There's only one of those, and I've met him personally, and he has a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, don't forget he's got the shirt. He's got the shirt. To wear. Yeah.
But he downplays himself, and he just calls himself, "I'm just a moderator," but he's more than that. Far, far more than that.
But yeah, the whole thing about once again, the world is our oyster. We're just got to go and find that little pearl because we can travel. The only hiccup is airlines. I don't know why they're holding out, why they're playing games.
What, for high prices?
Yes, their shareholders are more than happy with the way they screwed governments over and all the rest of it.
Well, it's the peak period at the moment because all the North Americans and Europeans, it's their middle of their winter, so they want to escape winter. So, look, is there price gouging? Absolutely. I mean, I was paying $3,000 a return from Australia to Thailand back again. Obviously, that's return for the month of October, November, and December. I go back for 4 or 5 weeks or so at the end of March, and it's $1,500 return. So go figure. So
yeah, but you don't travel cattle class.
Yeah, I do. $3,000 is not getting me up the pointy end of the plane, mate.
Shit, eh?
It's getting me close, but it's not. But no cigar, mate. No cigar.
You know, the whole thing about it. That's what I mean. That's ridiculous because
I need a water.
Go and get one.
I've got bloody chlorine in my eyes, and it's and the lighting in this apartment is crap.
Well,
Yes,
if you
he drinks water
haven't
with
you got
chlorine.
eye drops? Haven't you got any Vicine eye drops or something like that?
No. I'll tough it out, mate.
Oh yeah, you're gonna sook all night. Later on, you'll go on to, sweetheart, my eyes are so sore because of all the work I did today. Oh dear, and you get the sympathy. You'll get your sympathy bit, yeah. Then that'll make you feel good.
Yeah. If she hasn't changed, I'm a bit worried that she's changing the locks. She wanted to know wanted to get a few tradesmen around this week changing the locks again. So I have to crawl back in through another window when I get back home.
Why did she want to change the locks again?
Well, because I'm a stupid farang, right? That's thrown his lot in with a Thai woman and bought a house in Thailand, and she's only after me for my money and my good looks.
Well, hang on. Mr. Clark.
Yes,
Yeah, but
hang on there.
hang on. after you for your money, I can understand that. After you for your good looks, well, we need a second opinion. Mr. Clark, would you like to elaborate on that second opinion?
Well, sorry, mate. I was doing two things. What's the actual subject about? What's my opinion worth anyway? But what are we asking?
Mark made a statement that his Thai wife's only after him because of his money and his good looks. I said the money, yes, the good looks, no.
Well, there's no Thai women that are not after money, and we're all ugly.
Well, there you go. That sums it up.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And if you can believe that, you'll believe anything.
No, there's
Same but different.
there is that narrow-minded group that think that everybody's out for something and whatever, but maybe that's because their mind is that way or that set, you know.
Well, that's right. So the backstory to that was that Dave from Got to Love Thailand and myself and a few others that are regulars on Dave's live stream have a running joke about that Dave and I and anyone else that's in a relationship in Thailand are just out and out suckers. But, you know, I've been married twice in Australia. So, and, you know, I've lost half a house or gained half a house. I don't know. So, you know what? There's no certainty, but there's no difference between Australia, between Thailand, America, the UK, Germany, wherever. I mean,
Jesus Christ, Mark, they're all after money, aren't they, all over the world? So why victimise the Thai people? I mean, Australians are the fucking same. I mean, bend over, they'll take your wallet out of your pocket. Don't worry about it. You never
that's my point, Steve. That's my point exactly.
I know, mate. I know.
And that's Dave's point exactly. So
the real, you know, I will agree with that. Like, you know, I had a failed relationship with an Anglo-Saxon woman, and you know, and I really
was she Asian, Johnny?
No, Anglo-Saxon.
I rest my case.
But the whole thing about it was, we were very young when we got married. We not so much together, but we achieved kind of some goals. And then we kind of woke up one morning and thought, who the fucking hell are you? I don't even know you anymore.
Every time I see you, Johnny, I say that.
Yeah, well, how come the other week you were fucking peering through windows saying, where's Johnny? Where's Johnny?
Because Andy and I were trying to run.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad pub, that one I found, eh? That was an old water.
No, that was I actually enjoyed that. We've got to take daughter downtown because she's going to do a bit of study, and I said, well, we're going to have to go to that pub because that looked like the prices of food and a drink to go with it wasn't too bad, and I actually liked it because you and I were sitting
was that,
there.
John?
Was Royal Melbourne Hotel in nearly on the corner of Burke and Spencer Street. It's an old jail. It's an old colonial jail, so it's made out of stone. Okay. Still got all the iron bars in there. There's an engraving in one of the cells here. Here is Johnny Siam, arrested in 1836 on the charge of buggery with a four-legged feline. So
shit.
A bit of history there.
It wasn't a forgery, I think.
No, it was real. It was real. I even had his.
Yeah.
They still
Look,
had his
mate. Look, I've got to ask you a question. Was it done in Technicolor?
No, it was carved into the bluestone. They even had the wanted poster still up there. Here is Johnny Siam wanted on the charge of sedition and buggery with a four-legged feline. So,
right.
Well,
it's real.
Hello, gentlemen. Can you hear me okay?
Go, Steve. How you go,
hey,
mate?
Tom.
Yeah, good, thanks.
How you doing, mate?
I'm only butting in because I just want to add something to the conversation from a couple of minutes ago when you were talking about the people always make the comparison.
Go ahead.
Western women and Thai women. I just want to add a small thing to it. I've known a number of Thais that have got divorced, split up. And I've even known Palangs and Thai wives that have split up, gone their own ways and whatever. I'm really struggling to think of any of them that have used the children to get at the father. There's not one Thai woman I've known that's ever said, "Oh, you can't see your child anymore unless you give me money." It's always encouraged. Even when I've known the girl actually absolutely hates the Thai man because he's wanted I always forget the word, Johnny, and you'll pick me up on it, the second wife. What's that called?
Mia Noi.
Yeah, the Neonoi.
Mia
that's
Noi,
right.
yeah. Even when the Thai original wife hates the husband because he's got Mia Noi, they will still always encourage contact with the children. That's what we don't see in the West. Sorry, it's a serious subject. It's only because I've seen so many of my. Well, look, you don't get many close friends, but I've known many men that have been blackmailed where they can't see the children unless they do this, unless they take the knee to that sort of thing. Never seen it in Thailand, ever.
Well, I think, Tom's joined, and I'm not going to mention this young bloke's name, but I think now Tom can say yes or no, but this young bloke that both Tom and I know, who's on his second marriage or second relationship from Europe with a Thai girl. But I think he had a Thai relationship before this one that he had children with. And I think she made it a little bit difficult for him to see the kids, but not impossible. Just made it a little bit difficult. I'm not sure if that's or if that was a European wife, Tom. I don't know. I can't remember, but I'm not going to mention the young bloke's name. But I think Tom will know who I'm talking about. But I know plenty of Thai women that have Pia Nois as well. So which is they have several boyfriends, and the original and the husband that they're betrothed to doesn't know that they're
spit roast.
Well, I don't know if it goes that far. I don't know if we have the pig on the spit. So pots. I don't know if we have that.
Yeah, well, why should everything be like male dominated? It's okay, but we turn a blind eye to a man to have a woman on the side or whatever, and it's sacrilegious if a woman does the same. That's a real double standard, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it goes back to the.
Oh, hello, gentlemen. This is my wife. She's had more pricks than a dartboard. Oh no, thank you, Johnny.
No. You got that dart. You got that dartboard at the garage sale.
Oh no. Oh, look, if you get a decent woman, you don't need to travel around anyway. I don't think.
No, the thing is, people let's be honest, you travel, you come from whatever background, go into Southeast Asia and people are looking for something and someone.
Johnny, can I just add something here, please? Do you mind?
Yes.
Look, Thai women look 20 years younger than Western women. This is a big factor in the whole thing. Continue.
The whole part about it is some people go to, let's say, the entertainment areas where they can pay for play.
Yeah.
Others just try and integrate and find their little jewel there.
My heart bleeds for you, Tom. Actually, it's hot here in Australia at the moment, 30 degrees. But you never hear about, people, and it's human nature, fixate on drama, right? Everybody wants to sit around the bar and listen about old Blogsy that's been taken for every baht that he has, and he's on the next bloody slow boat back to his home country. No one ever sits down there and talks about success stories, like our friend over in Hua Hin, who's been in a solid relationship since 1979. Right, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of expats that are married to Thai women, or anyone not their nationality or whatever, that are absolutely success, but no one wants to talk about them because they want to sit around the bar and they want to hang shit on the bloke and then poke a stick at him and go, oh yeah, old Blogsy got taken. We all knew that was going to happen. Really, you knew that was going to happen. How did you know?
Mark,
because you've got a sixth
Mark,
sense? Because you've got a crystal ball?
I'll give you a tip. Stay away from bars that's got pommy bastards in it.
That's impossible in Pattaya.
Now that was the lead.
It's
lead
amazing.
For Steve.
It's amazing you can say that, Mark. It's said a lot in bars and stuff like that. And when you come back to Australia, they straight away want to know, are you still with that woman? Has she taken all your fucking money yet? You know, I just, and then you got the word, we know why you go to Thailand. Why is that, you fat horrible bitch?
Yeah, but do not forget Ed Sweeney. He did a thing. Who's going back? Edward Sweeney. He did a bit of a live stream talk, and he's an Englishman, and he was getting a haircut, and he was talking to different women, and kind of said, oh, you go to there. You're a monger. You're a sexpat. Whatever. And he said the ladies in this hairdressers, we use her awfully brown. So what do you go to Spain? Do you? And they kind of, oh yeah. I suppose you dabble a little bit over there. So realistically. It's the kettle calling the pot black, isn't it?
Of course it is, right? And
But
go on,
Mark.
No, you're right.
But the one thing that, all right, you go, Mark, and I'll go after you, all right? I've got my hand up second. Go on, mate.
I was just going to say, nobody knows why anybody travels unless you sit down with them and you actually ask them. You cannot sit down there and make judgment over people. And I know it's easy to say because people do it every day, right? But everyone's got their own reasons, their altruistic reasons for travel and to go to Thailand. I first went for the temples. So there you go.
I made my own temple.
I was second, but he's pushed in.
Yeah, I made my own temple. It was the Temple of Love. Yeah. But anyhow, doesn't matter.
Yes, Mitch. Yeah.
But you got to realise, gentlemen, that the Thai women look 20 years younger than the Aussie women or the Western women. They look 20 years younger, fitter, slimmer. They cook for you. They do whatever you want, really, but to a certain extent, But you go back to the Western women, some of them have got fucking bigger dicks than you've got.
Well, well, you didn't check when you were getting married. That's the case.
Oh, I don't know. Did you check? Did your missus' balls drop in the finish?
Jesus, well, no. Well, the whole part about it that like we're not going down that back street lane.
No worries.
But just on your point though, Steve Clark, is that there's plenty of relationships out there where the age difference is not 20 years, where the age difference might be 2. My mate from New Zealand, young bloke, 35, just married a 36 and just married a 42, 44-year-old Thai. So it works.
Yes, that's right.
You don't know. So
my missus was.
Does she look her age? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
My missus was 5 years younger than me when I lived in Thailand. 5 fucking years younger, and she looked she looked about 35, 40
Mm,
at the time. But I don't know. I better not say how old she is now. Shit, the old bastard. Yeah.
Well, I must remember that kind of reminded me of one of my favourite songs. You know, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. You know,
A lot of Thai relationships, John. 30 years old, the difference is just normal. Not my cup of tea, but a lot of guys do it. But, okay.
the thing is, Southeast Asia usually looks, or Asia in general, looks for a person that can provide for them, give them a stable,
Exactly right.
stable income,
Exactly. Yes.
a home with and 3 meals a day.
yeah, but you're saying Western women don't do the same, right? I tell you, I married a professional woman. She had 3 different degrees, and if I wasn't earning the money that I was earning when we got together, there's no way known that she would have married just a bloody a Sparky that had that could switch high voltage at that time, right? And it was only because of my allowances and site allowances and penalty rates that I earned far more than her and all of her colleagues.
So I know what you're saying, Mark, on your first date, it was you had to put a resume in. For fuck's sake, mate. I would have kind of went, oh, hang on, I'm in the wrong spot here.
Well, Mark, you've got the job.
If I was earning $25,000 a year, and I don't mean any malice or I don't mean to be derogatory to anybody that's earning that sort of money, that low money, but if you are earning that sort of money, you ain't going to be pulling chicks that are used to earning $100,000 themselves. Maybe 1 out of 100, one girl might go, you know what, the way he works out in the gym and he's hung like a bloody stallion, I don't care if he's on the rock and roll, mate, I'll take him in. So I don't know, but people, but anyway.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a little bit embarrassing if you kind of said to your siblings, here's your mum and she's younger than them.
Yeah, that's not fucking good, is it, John?
My old man was bloody.
Don't call me mum, call me sis.
Well, my old man, when he divorced from my mum, he started going out with a girl that was younger than my brother. And my brother's 2.5 years younger than what I am. And she was Australian and he was a Dutch Munger.
Well, the whole part about it, if we can't really classify anybody's relationship because
you can't. That's the thing about it.
We would sound judgmental.
Of course.
The whole thing is, if it works for them, good luck. But you only hear when it goes tits up.
Bypass the electricity meters. I would never do that. Never.
You haven't grown any dope.
If you
for fuck's sake, Mark, tell the truth. And spotlight's on you. You've done it. You used to do that for a sideline, you bastard. He done my place, Johnny. I'm telling you, he's the guy that done my place.
If you want your relationship judged, you just have to walk the subject, down, Johnny. You just have to walk down past any bar in Thailand. You might not hear what they're saying, but trust me, they're talking about you.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Sometimes it's better not to understand what they're saying, though, Mark.
I remember my mate Russell. He wanted to go to Pattaya, and I said, "Righto, where's your hotel?" And I said, "Right, what you want to do? Down the road there's a bar there, and if you find something that you like, that's fine." And he said, "Why do I go down there?" I said, "Well, you start at the furthest point and work your way back to your hotel." I said, "Because you're not walking past the other ones when you pick up another one or whatever." I said, "There's quite a lot of jealousy, and you know. And I said, you know, they're going to be yelling out to the other girl, he's only got a little dick. Well, we already knew that, but you know, what the hell?
It's not how big it is, it's how you use it.
You know,
but
you talk about age. It was just so happened I'm listening to Talkback Radio today, right? And there was some songs on the radio. So now you blokes, Mitch, I know he's musical, and I'm sure Dave was very musical too. But wasn't there a whole lot of songs? Wasn't there songs back in the day? She's 16 and she's mine. You know,
yes, there was.
Yeah, so you know, it's been, at least in Thailand, I would hope that everybody is over the age of consent. But when you've got popular music back in the day that's actively singing about being a pedophile, I mean, that's
nice.
But you know, like there used to be a rhyme, and it's politically incorrect, but
what's that? She
when-
was only
when-
16.
Yeah.
That one, Johnny?
that was the one, yeah. But I'm talking about the old rhyme. You know, when roses are red, they're ready to pluck. When a girl's 16, she's ready to, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good
take to the
one.
dance. I
Take,
think it
yeah,
goes.
that's right. The Americans call it the prom.
Go to the prom. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've just bought this channel back. You'll have it kicked off the airwaves by the end of the night.
No, I've been kicked around the bloody planet by YouTube anyway, so I don't really give a shit.
Ringo Starr, that's what was his song? Ringo Starr, I can't read because my eyes are just
Oh, yeah. That was another one.
beautiful. Yeah, that's
Some like
it.
a green peaches and
Like
cream
a
mix like
tree,
cherry wine. You were
peaches and
six. That was it. Was Ringo Starr. That's right.
16. You're beautiful.
Oh, hang
yeah.
on. This is getting interesting.
You know,
Ringo
apparently
Starr,
that was the song they played on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet.
Hey, cut it out.
And the next comment here is from
When
Dave.
the movie comes out, oh.
I love a woman with
hands.
small hands.
Oh, shit, how small is that, Dave? Jesus Christ.
Well, compared to these,
Well, as long as they haven't got fucking
crayon.
crayons in them, Dave. Ooh.
No, long as they haven't got calluses. What the hell?
Yeah. That's quite an amazing place, Thailand, isn't it, Dave? How long are you over for, mate? Dave, how long? Mark, sorry. How long are you over for?
I'm back in Australia now, so I came back on Sunday, the 10th or something, whatever it was, last couple of weeks ago, and I go back. So I'm here for it'll be just 2.5 months, nearly 3 months, because the project I'm working on, we're getting to our first big commissioning stage. So
but which area are you working in?
I'm working in railway signalling on a major rail line upgrade here in Victoria. So I'm doing all the signalling upgrade level. We put in.
So you're all over the place, are you?
Oh, I work out of the office, and that's why it allows me that I can still work from Thailand. So I'll go back in, but I want to be available to be on site should there be any issues. So we're upping the speed of the line from a very slow 80 kilometres an hour to a whopping 130 kilometres an hour, which means all new signalling needs to go in, because when we work out the signalling, we work it for the train that's doing 80 Ks, and if he's doing 130, he's going to be through the intersection before the boom gates come down.
So that's an upgrade of the tracks as well?
Upgrade of tracks, upgrade of signals, upgrade.
Let me ask you a question, Dave. Are you familiar with Lao, aren't you? Obviously you are. They've put in a fast train from somewhere in there to Vientiane.
From China.
Have you heard about that one?
Yeah, it's up and running between Lao and
that does
China.
130 kilometres an hour.
Look, I've been on trains in Europe that were doing 350 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, I know, I understand that. Yeah, but that's amazing for Lao, though.
Yeah.
Open Lao up for the Chinese.
It's Chinese.
I know.
It's Chinese, Stephen.
Yeah, I know.
there was Ron was actually on the train and doing a stream. Be more
Now,
Ron. Was,
John, it takes
earlier on today.
apparently it takes 2 hours to get to Bangkok from Vientiane.
They haven't built. I don't think.
It's
I
not
don't
built
think
yet.
they finished building that yet.
Has that been built, Mark?
No, not yet.
No.
I mean, but that's because the whole idea is to link China with Singapore. So,
But the tanks will be the tracks will be able to take tanks, won't they? On carriages and stuff like that.
yes,
They could deliver them straight into Bangkok and wheel them off, and
Yeah,
they wouldn't even know what was up them before they got up them.
Well,
That's
in honesty, Stephen, we have seen
Few paratroopers?
We have seen tanks in Nana in Nana
Yeah, no.
many years ago, and that was a very sad state of affairs.
Oh, well.
I was in Thailand like last year. I can't remember. Mitch and Dave they'll know, and Tom they'll know. There was on the Thai news. I can't remember exactly what time. It was sometime last year when there was some kerfuffle up on the border with Burma. There was nothing but military equipment heading north, and there was just convoys and convoys, and it was on the nightly news every single night. What month was that?
Thailand's got about the 5th or 6th or 7th largest military in the world, something like that. Yeah, so hang on, someone Google it, will you?
But the whole part about it is Thailand protects its borders, and for some of the stuff that's going on in Burma, they're very much
number 24
fortifying.
Well, in France, they've just passed a law that you can't take a air travel, but that's less than 2 hours or an hour. So you can't say hop on a plane between Melbourne and Sydney, which is an hour flight. They're going to make you take a, I think it was it Germany or was it France? I think it was France. They're going to have to go on the high speed rail. You can't. They're going to ban plane trips for less than an hour.
Sure.
Which makes
is that
sense.
because
they got 300 kilometres an hour, though, haven't they, Mark?
Yeah, I was just about to say, it makes perfect sense. When I worked in Europe and I was traveling between, from Slovakia to Switzerland and Switzerland to Germany and Germany down to Austria and back over to France, I never took a plane anywhere. I was on a train the whole time. And you don't have to get to an airport 2 hours early. You just roll into the railway station, grab yourself a croissant and something to drink and a coffee. And, an hour later, you're getting off at wherever you need to get off. And you've done it in Yorkshire at 300 kilometres an hour anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Australia needs the fast trains, and we just.
Oh,
I'm
working
nuts.
the other project I'm working on after Tullamarine International Airport here in Melbourne was built in 1969, and I'm on the bid team to build a railway line out to it. We've got to be the only.
Dave, Mark, that's been on the card for friggin' 100 years.
Yeah, but I'm working on it now. So it will happen.
But even before they made the airport, they were going to put, because that's my area over there, mate. Yeah. They were going to put the railway. That never happened.
Yeah, they put a tram line out to within 2 kilometres of it.
Yeah.
Hang on. Remember, they did Waverley Park. That was where football was going to be the home, and the same premier, John Cain, arsewipe piece of shit, contracted out the buses and stuff like that. Well, that all fell apart. You're right. The only airport in the world where you can't just go down the bottom, jump on a train, and go to your capital city.
Mm-hmm.
You got to fuck around with a bus full of morons.
The only way this country will advance, Mark, is if they get fast trains connecting the capital cities with freight and the whole lot. That's the only way it's going to work.
Yeah,
but how long does it take to get on a train, come from Sydney to Melbourne? How long does it take?
About 14
8 hours or something?
12
but the
hours,
thing
14
is-
hours.
That is just stupidity.
No, it should bypass Sydney and go straight to Brisbane.
Yeah, but the majority of travel in this country is between Melbourne and Sydney.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
right.
And we what we need to do for the greenhouse thing is limit that, and just go. If you want to leave Melbourne and go to Sydney, there's no return tickets. Goodbye. Fuck
Yeah,
off.
but who wants to go to Brisbane?
Well, the whole part about it, the weather's better than Melbourne
Yeah, but it's in Brisbane.
and stuff Sydney.
But it's in Brisbane.
All right, let's say Coffs Harbour. No. Let's say
Hey, Johnny, if you go to Brisbane, you can grow dope. Apparently,
No, you can't grow dope. They breed them up there.
Yeah, I was going to say they're walking around the streets.
Come on, be nice. Be nice.
No, well, for you to answer your question, Stephen Clark, we've already started on the project. So pre-work contracts have already been issued to build a great big bridge, and so we can all get over it.
Another clothes hanger. I don't know why they didn't put the railway line up the middle of the friggin'
Sorry, Adrian.
Tullamarine Freeway when they built the bar.
yeah, that's exactly right, John.
Four-eyed F-wit that's in charge of this state. He's got no idea, and you know what? Everybody else
John?
that's a minister have even got less idea.
I haven't been on that freeway for many years. Look, I think there's a big what is it, a reservoir in runs alongside of it. What's wrong with using that for a train line? I mean, it's waterproof, obviously.
What reservoir?
Yeah, you could build an overhead rail over that, or something like that. Or
There's two rail
fucking
lines.
ridiculous, mate.
There's two railway lines already. There's Inland Rail, which is the freight service, and there's a V-line service that already run very close to Tullamarine. So what they're going to do is we're going to put in 2 more tracks and then run an electric train up there and back from Sunshine. So if you know Melbourne, it'll come from Sunshine.
Yeah. That'll work actually.
Geez, they're gonna run into Scumshine.
Yeah, well,
You can get off the train and get your drugs fresh.
that's
Get back on the train and then to Tullamarine.
that's where the pre-works is. So we're building a bridge because there's a great big ravine or canyon there, basically.
That's
not
right.
even
There
hollow.
is. There is a big one.
So there's the pre-works is to build.
Well,
the bridge
and actually,
years.
market finishes in Rockbank, I think. Hang on, it's called Rock.
Yeah,
We're
You're about right.
where's that
You're
race?
about
Where's that race course? What's that race course there? The car racing.
Flemington?
Bob Jane
Arena. That's up near Diggers
whatever.
Rest in Sunbury.
Yeah, Diggers Rest. It finishes off there somewhere, so it'd be very easy to
There you go.
manoeuvre that thing into Tullamarine. Very easy.
Well, the ring road spans it, but the whole part about it, why the F and hell would you send a train out there to go to the airport? For
Well,
Christ's sake.
Well, you can't around the back. It is actually on the airport, John. It's going around the back of it.
That's a good
Yeah.
question too, Johnny, and that's been raised all the way up to parliamentary level as well. So, but that's the way the
Well-
politicians want it because it's a cheaper option. Because
Well, the
you
whole
know
part
why?
about it
Because
is-
less houses have to be pulled down if you go out. If you're going
Well,
straight
the
up,
whole
you've
part-
got a compulsory.
The whole
requirement.
part about it, Mark, is like I said, like we were talking years ago, and I said, well, if they're going to do it, they should be running the railway track with a couple of sidings on it, single line, to up the Tullamarine Freeway, straight into the airport.
There's no room
Bingo.
anymore because we put in 2 extra lanes up and down on the Tulla.
Yeah, because
Oh, fucking why not, eh? Well, let's fuck that plan, John. Start
it
digging,
doesn't-
mate. Start digging.
the whole thing about it is all they need to do is put up a sign. 640 fucking parking spaces available. Please enter.
Oh,
So-
look at this. There's a
so
train
he-
line that goes through Deer Park, Taylor's Lakes, and it finishes in Sydenham, which is right next to the airport. And
So I
it's
had the-
virtually wow, that's a big way around, isn't it? Forget about
So I
that.
had the CEO come down
Yes,
for the
yeah,
company
yeah.
that I was branded to, that I'd contracted to. they've just been taken over by their parent company out of. So I work now for a Spanish company. So same office, same job, just different shirt. Change
Yeah,
shirts.
that's okay.
But so one of the questions when the CEO came down to address the troops last night was that, will there be, every time there's a merger like this, said, will there be job cuts? And the bloke says, and the CEO says, no. He said, we've got 600 vacancies just in Victoria alone. 600 vacancies we cannot fill. So you blokes that are working, you're going to be doing a hell of a lot more work because you've got to fill 600 spots because we cannot get people to work.
How many people?
There's a skill shortage.
How many people would you need to make enchiladas and fucking tacos
Paella.
and shit like
And
that?
paella.
And paella, that's easy to make. But the enchiladas and all the rest of that shit, it just shoves some shit on some bread, and you've got no washing up to do because you eat the fucking dishes, don't you?
So now, apart from learning
that.
Thai, I've got to learn Spanish now. So, un momento, por favor. That's about all I know.
Yeah, well, the other part about it is I can teach you a little bit of Spanish if you like, but I'll do that privately because you don't want to tell your boss. You don't want to tell your boss.
Yeah, I'll get arrested.
You're talking about Filipino Spanish, are you?
No, I'm talking about Spanish.
Filipino
Well, the one
Spanish.
thing about the power stations down here, we kind of got bits and pieces of every friggin' language out of the world.
So when are you going to Thailand, Steve?
Very shortly, mate. I'm looking now actually for a ticket. I'm only going to go over for. Not sure whether I'll go for 2 weeks or a month yet. I'm going to go over there and find out where I want to go, and then I'm perhaps looking at packing up here and then cross back over there, live.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know, Mark. Look, where I live here, I don't know if you're familiar with Tasmania. It's bloody beautiful. It's God's own country, mate. I mean,
It is nice down there.
I've said it 100 times. I mean, the rivers are clear. You can see the friggin' bottom. There's no pollution at all. It's a brilliant place to live, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice place to retire and die.
You know, the one thing about Tasmania, their state anthem is Deliverance.
Yeah, that's scary, that isn't it?
I mean, I just got to go.
It's not good.
Just got to go to the boys' room, back in a couple of ticks.
It scares me when he talks like that.
Some of my best hunting was done on Ben Nevis, and some of my best trout fishing was done on the Great Lakes.
Oh yeah.
And the sea runners out of Zeehan. Oh my God, the sea running brown trout.
Oh, yeah, Zeehan's incredible, isn't it?
They were like 2 foot long. These trout, these sea runners, they're chasing the whitebait.
Yeah.
They were and we were doing it on fly gear too, heavy duty fly gear. But man, what a fight! They were good, but it was hard work. Hard work hunting in Mount Ben Nevis. That was hard work. That was hard slog.
Absolutely stunning spots here, but probably without being a prick or anything, but probably the best scenery in the world. Tasmania.
No, yeah.
It's incredible. You get down to Arthur River and that. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, and the Pieman.
Yeah. I went to where did I go? I went to Smithton last week just for a drive. Oh Jesus Christ! You should have seen it. And they're selling these mansion houses like huge for a song, overlooking the bay and shit like that. No, Christ, mate. Very lucky to live here. That's why I sort of hum and harm. I was thinking about 6 months Thailand, 6 months here type of thing. I can do that if I want, but
yeah,
I'll see what happens, mate. I really will. But Jesus, once you've lived here and seen it all, mate, it's just incredible. Very lucky to live here, mate.
No, I tried to get a job when I was a young bloke. I was still an apprentice, trying to get a work on the Tassie Hydro.
Oh yeah.
But Anyway,
Yeah.
didn't.
Have a greenie for breakfast, eh? Bloody things they were. Yeah, certainly a fascinating place.
Yeah, no, I like Tasmania.
Oh, you should see the food and stuff, mate. It's just incredible.
Yeah,
the
down at
freshness of
Salamanca
food.
Salamanca Market, mate. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
seen
yeah,
better
yeah.
food.
Oh, isn't that incredible? That market. That's
Mm.
that's one of the best I've ever seen. That.
Mm.
Jesus, talk about an international variety. Jesus.
Mm.
Anyway, they're letting the Chinese now without our virus. What do you call it? A virus check. That'll be good.
See you, Andy.
Andy going,
Actually, what is the time? Oh, it's bloody.
Oh, yeah, Andy travels. Oh, there's Mr. Mitch. How go, Mr. I haven't seen Mr. Mitch for years. Oh, they're all there. Oh, the banana, yeah, the one and only banana.
He said g'day to you. He actually wrote a text to you.
Oh, sorry, Mitch. Yeah. Where's he hanging around now?
He's in Thailand.
Where's he living? Oh,
In Thailand.
secret. All right, fair enough.
Up to him. He's in Thailand.
Okay. That's good. I'll have to catch up with him.
Well, when I'm there, I normally catch up with him and Tom. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist. So he's in Thailand, by the water.
Oh, okay. You know him.
Oh, Dom.
No problem. Dom? Is there
Dom.
Oh, there's Dom as well.
Mm.
Jesus, all come. These are all the Talk Back Thailand guys. What else we got there? Ooh. G'day, Andy. I met Andy, actually. He's a good guy. Met him in Thailand.
Yeah, I caught up with him and Johnny and Dom last Friday for a few beers in the city.
I've never met Dom.
And I caught up with him in, geez, almost getting close to, well, I think it was April, wasn't it? And caught up to him in the Kiwi Wombat Bar in Jomtien.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think it was April. Was it April, Dom? I think it was, yeah. I think it was just before I came back to, before I came back to work, because I came back to Australia to start working again just before Anzac Day. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The travelling's pissing me off, Steve. I had 6 trips last year between April and December, backwards.
So you're actually still working, are you?
Yeah.
You haven't retired?
Yeah. No, I went back to work. So.
Oh, okay.
Because the missus had kicked. I went to Jomtien to a pub, to a bar. Came back. She'd put bars on the windows, changed the locks, and kicked me out. And just after I bought the house, so I was left penniless and destitute on the streets of Pattaya. So,
shit, really?
Yeah, and I had to do a GoFundMe page just to. So I ended up on a steamer tramp to and a couple of lifeboats, and had to sail myself back through the back down through the streets of Malacca. And then I landed in on the west coast of Western Australia, and then had to fight crocodiles.
Did they give you money for a new car or a Tarago?
No. So I had to avoid border force, and I lived amongst the dingoes for several months, and the crocs. And then I had to hitchhike back down to Melbourne, and that took another 6 months. All because, you know what, I was one of those blokes who got rolled in Thailand by their Thai partner.
Well, I tried to warn you.
Yeah. So now I've been forced back to work now, and I don't work for the railways. I clean public toilets with a toothbrush now, and I do it. I do it with love in my heart, because at least this country gave me a go, and then as I'm slowly building up my pennies, I will return to Thailand and start again. Yeah.
You want a couple of bucks, mate? Give us a yell, mate. I can afford $10 or something for you.
Look, you're bringing a tin. You're bringing a tin.
It'll buy you a McDonald's hamburger or something. Don't be, don't laugh at it.
Oh,
Johnny, can you
mate.
put him
The thing-
10 bucks?
Oh, mate.
The
you're
thing
dead.
is, if you're cleaning toilets with a
He
toothbrush,
sounds
that'd
like
be ringing, wouldn't it?
he sounds like an Australian woman asking questions.
Hello,
You know
Adrian.
why you got it.
How you
Hey.
doing?
Hey,
G'day, there you
Mark,
go.
Steve,
Hey,
Stephen,
Adrian.
chat. How you going? That's interesting, Mark. The trains, the new train system. But
Yeah, it's something new for me because I'm electrical engineering background. So to learn railway signalling has been a steep learning curve, really has.
Well,
obviously they're going to be electric trains, right?
These ones that I'm working on are diesel, but the one that'll go out to Tullamarine Airport will be electric. Will be 1500 volts DC. No, exactly,
Yeah,
Tom. End of March, my friend. End of March.
I often listen
Mark.
to this Senate question time here on the ABC radio. Like if I'm driving or something, I'll listen to them debating all these new legislations and things they want to bring in the Senate. And it's a very hot topic conversation at the moment is the high-speed rail system joining Australian cities. They're really working on going to that. And it's to get rid of the domestic air travel. It's all tied in with that European scheme they've brought in, the Greenies.
Yeah. Look, but I don't know. Look, in my lifetime, you've had to change trains at the border because we had standard gauge and broad gauge, two completely different gauges. So,
Where was that,
Yeah.
Mark?
So you had
New South Victoria, Steve.
Really?
you
Hey,
you had
Mark,
to-
did you have to change trains at New South Wales and?
you had to change
Victoria.
at Albury and you had to change at
I
border.
thought we
town.
had the same width tracks all over Australia.
No.
No,
Even look,
stand-
You've got to be fucking kidding.
so
Everywhere except for New South Wales, because they are very different up there.
So, but even in Victoria, we have two. So the V line train runs on the broad gauge, and the inland rail, which is the freight train, runs on the standard gauge. So two completely different gauges and running side by side.
Oh, fucking why not, eh?
It's only one.
fucking-
It's only one more track. Doesn't matter.
I can see merit in train travel because airports are a total pain in the ass. The whole procedure of getting to the airport, checking in, all the security checks, waiting for the plane to board and take off, and taxiing around on the ground for an hour after you land. It's all nonsense at the airport.
You can hop on the train at Suvarnabhumi and be in the middle of Sukhumvit for 70 baht.
Yeah, I always catch that train into town.
Yeah, the airport. The airport.
That's the same as the one from Tullamarine Airport to the city, mate. Straight away. We get to see what, 10, 20 minutes, John? 10 minutes, 15?
Oh, look, they've got to build it first.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
built
fuck,
yet.
I forgot, mate.
but
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
they're
So,
estimating.
do you tell me them dumbasses made an airport without a fucking train?
They're estimating 30 minutes from the city to the airport.
I like that train trip from Bangkok into town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You just go down to the basement. What is 100 baht? Jump on the bloody train, and it takes you on the
I
way.
used to swap at that Mahakan or whatever it is. Get on and then Petchaburi, get onto the MRT and get straight off at Sukhumvit. Really used to stay just across the road.
Actually, you're right. You had to change trains. Yeah, to go to.
There was a little walk.
Yeah. I'd forgotten.
Actually, that station in
What
Bangkok.
speed trains can we get on the existing train track? No, at the moment, Dom. So if you're going up to Shepparton or Benalla, or it's 80 k's, but eventually we'll get them up. Wherever the velocity trains are, they'll get them up to 130. So we're way short of Europe, my friend. Where in Europe, I was on trains that were doing over 300 kilometres an hour.
And then they'll stop at Tallarook, and then they'll stop at bloody, all these bumfuck junction joints.
The new trains
never stop that.
So the new trains that'll go to the airport will be the 130 kilometre an hour ones, and the new trains that'll go to Shepparton and the like are 130 ones.
These are not replacements for aircraft, though. Like I can see in Europe, in France and Germany and European countries, they got the TGV train in France, I think, does something like 320 kilometres an hour, and that can replace an aeroplane.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? Australia's a country of 26 million, where Europe, you're talking 500 million people. So you've got a city like Paris or a city like Berlin or Bern or you've got millions of people. So the potential to make a dollar out of it is far more in Australia, where Australia is still relatively, and I say this in inverted commas when you compare it to Europe, relatively cheap diesel and petrol prices. And Australia has always been car centric. So we've got to change. We've got to change our whole attitude. People wanted, the reason that electric cars will only be within 100 kilometres of the city, because people are going to be apprehensive to jump in their all electric Toyota Land Cruiser and head up to the Birdsville track. So.
Yeah, it's impractical. Some of this stuff doesn't work in Australia.
But city planners and governments need to plan not just for the next 4 years. They've got to plan for the next 100 years. And so by at least upgrading train lines now, they're there for the next 50 to 60 years. And then the next generation can then extend it on and on. But who knows, we'll be probably levitating and just doing I Dream of Jeannie. And then you're there. Yeah. So
I think our premier's already doing that.
Where are the trains they're getting? Where are they getting the trains from, Mark? What
Built in Melbourne by a Canadian company.
Yeah. So the new metro trains are Italian trains. The newer metro trains are Italian, and the other ones are built in Melbourne, but off a Canadian backbone.
But our stupid politicians always have to be dictated to by Europe or Brussels. Okay, we need to get rid of air travel less than 2 hours. What do you do in Australia? Oh, we're gonna build high speed rail. So they come down here and start building like 160 kilometre an hour trains. Like it's still not going to be a winner.
I'm going to just put my tin hat on, right?
No, you got to put a foil hat on.
It's foil lined. It's foil lined. It's because there's a new world order with a new digital currency.
And we'll just do what we're told down here.
We will have nothing and we will be happy about it.
I would call you, Mark, an electrical supply authority. You know what you're talking about with electrical power supply on large scales.
Yeah, I've worked transmission, generation and distribution.
So you tell me, Mark, if they brought in like some countries want to do, where we're going to get rid of petrol cars and diesel cars by the year, 2030. We're all going to have electric vehicles, so they'll tax petrol and diesel out of existence. Now, if it's in Australia, if you took a large city, Melbourne or Sydney or maybe Brisbane, that's pretty small, but and most people had electric cars. They all come home from work at 6 p.m. and plug them into their 60 amp outlets to overcharge overnight. A ridiculous 60 amp supply that no houses actually have. Now, if you had 1 million people doing that all at 6 p.m. plugging their rechargers in, could the supply system keep up with that, our generation system?
No, it can't.
No fucking way.
Because we haven't got the infrastructure. And, this is the crazy thing. People that with all the solar panels on their roofs and they worry and they whinge because they're not getting the feed-in tariff, it's because the infrastructure is not set up in their street to allow them to feed into the network. The infrastructure is designed to feed electricity one way.
Mm-hmm.
So it would cost and what company, what supply authority out there that's getting absolutely reamed every time they bend over, from the Greens and from left-wing government saying that you've got to clean up your act. How many companies now? You've got Australian Gas and Lighting that are walking away from fully functional power stations because they want to go green, right? I'm going to hop on my soapbox here for 1 second, right?
Go for it.
You are looking at a computer or you're looking at a phone, everything in your house, 95% of everything in your house is fossil fuel derivative, right? So the plastic on your computer is a byproduct of fossil fuel, right? The tiles on your floor, your oven, everything, right? The diesel and the dynamite to dig up the raw materials. Let me tell you one thing about solar panels and wind generators. They do not contribute one iota back to society like the same as fossil fuels has. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I'm with you, Mark.
You cannot have a solar panel or a wind farm without having fossil fuels. You can't. How are you going to dig up the raw material to make the steel if you haven't got a D10 bulldozer and a 350-ton excavator ripping up the shit into a 15-ton load bucket truck? How?
They used to say solar panels were a bit like magnets. You know, like it takes more power to create the solar panel than it will ever put out.
Absolutely, because you know what, you get a return out of a solar panel, you're probably lucky to get 35-45% out of them. And then they deteriorate after a few years anyway. So they're only optimal when the sun is directly smack bang overhead. Look, I'm not saying that I'm an advocate for alternative energy sources, right? Because I've worked in the sector. But the lie that governments will say that they justify it, well, it's not true, because, you know, the Greens and whatever say, oh, we need to shut down coal-fired power stations today and build more coal, build more wind. They're not telling you the whole truth about where do you get the raw materials to build alternative energy from fossil fuels. That's where.
Right on, yeah.
And we haven't got the infrastructure to run electric cars. When I was back as an apprentice, and I did some domestic and commercial work just to get my hours up. The average house had a 63 amp service main, right? 63 amp. Johnny's about to build a house. You know what he's going to get in his house? 35 amp. Now, does he need three? Probably not, because he's not running a bloody big cathode tube TV, and he's running more efficient air conditioners, and he's running whatever that thing is behind me, an LED TV, and everything's, you know, low energy, but still.
Yeah.
But then you go and throw on your Model 3 or your Model whatever Tesla, right? You're going to be limited to a 10 amp socket, a 20 amp supply, unless you can afford the thousands of dollars to put in a 3-phase system.
Totally, yeah.
Well, actually, on that house build, it is a 3-phase going into the whole.
Oh, you got 3-phase going in. Well, you paid a premium for that.
Yes, I did, but it gives me 60 amps a phase. So we've got.
No, it won't give you 60 a phase. It'll give you about 25, 30 a phase.
Well, that's
60 amps a phase, Johnny's a big bloody commercial building.
Well,
Johnny will be able to charge his Tesla. No problem.
Only battery operated car I'd get would be one of those little remote control bastards.
A mobility scooter with a battery.
I've got one of them, Adrian. I've had it for years.
At least you can get to the pub on a mobility scooter, John.
Yeah, but the trouble is you can get booked for bloody being, over 0.05 on one of them.
I saw a guy at the pub the other day. He turned up with this mobility scooter, and it's the sportiest looking mobility scooter I've ever seen. Like, the front of it was like a Formula One car. You know, the suspension with the arms coming out and the shock absorbers on an angle at the centre, like. This mobility scooter.
All terrain job.
Yeah.
The whole part about it is right. Batteries. everybody's after the better battery. So lithium is the flavour of the day.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
But how do they get lithium?
with a
They've got to
D10
mine
dozer.
it. They've got the excavators, dump trucks, the whole deal. None of it changes.
No.
There's other metals in there too, in these lithium batteries, like cobalt.
Yeah.
And have you seen how they mine that cobalt in Africa? That everyone's using the cobalt from Africa.
Yeah,
They got like
they use little
6-year-old kids digging it out.
Mm.
Yeah, well, that like if you agree with child labour and their little pickaxe, yeah, fine. But that's really going to save the planet. I don't think so.
I'm going to bid you adieu, gentlemen, because I'm knackered.
Well, thanks for coming on, Mark. I appreciate it.
Sorry for hijacking your live stream, stand on my soapbox, but Adrian did ask the question.
No, I love that. Get some actual facts from people who know what they're talking about. That's what I love about talking
Look,
to a guy like you.
I don't profess to know it all, but as I said, I've worked on. I work in the industry. Have worked in the industry for 35 years, and I've worked out on site commissioning power stations, commissioning wind farms. So
that's why I asked you that question, and as I thought.
Adrian, you want to come to one of our meetups in Melbourne? And Mark always says he doesn't know a lot about whatever, and he takes.
But he has got credibility with electricity and supply.
So what I don't know.
After a couple of beers, you got a fucking babies in him. I can tell you that now.
What I don't know, Adrian, I can convince you with my bullshit.
That's right. If you can't baffle him, if you can't dazzle him with brilliance, baffle him with bullshit.
Because you're asking me a question, so straight away that tells me you don't know. So that means that I can tell you anything, and if I say it convincingly, I won you over, mate.
You're totally credible, Mark.
Very true.
Mark, once again, thanks for coming on, buddy.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie if you believe it to be true.
Mark, I've been a little bit, Mark, Steve here. I've been a little bit quiet. Don't think you shut me down at all, because most of the time I'm too noisy. It's just really nice to have a new viewpoint on the channels that we visit all the time. So don't worry, mate. You'll always come back and yak as much as you've done tonight. It's been great.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. I appreciate it. And Mitch, I'll see you in 2 months. You name the place. I'm spewing. They're having their subscriber meet up at Le Pub, and me and Mitch first. It was one of the first times that we hooked up was at Le Pub, I think, and I really like Phil, so I'm spewing I won't be there. And I've been trying to get back there for all my return trips to Thailand. So I think that's next month. So enjoy, Mitch, at Le Pub. I reckon it'll be a hoot there with Phil and all of his. And he's you guys, you've got to go to Le Pub, because Phil Ross there, he's just a crack up. He's a funny bugger. He's really funny. Worked in the entertainment industry his whole life, and he's got some stories. And I think he's a northern monkey. I think he's from Birmingham. Is that a northern monkey, Steve?
You don't say that. You don't say it quite like that, Mark. It's Birmingham.
Largest
Birmingham.
city in England.
Birmingham. It's sort of much softer. Birmingham. But are they classified as northern monkeys? No, not at all. It's Midlands.
So they're not quite southern fairies,
No.
and they're not quite northern monkeys.
Look, you probably know this already, Mark, but it's a really great trivia question. What's the second most populated city in the UK?
Birmingham.
Birmingham or Liverpool?
No, Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah, it beats Liverpool. It beats Manchester, Liverpool. But most people always think of Liverpool, Manchester, and I think Manchester is getting close. But Birmingham is the most populated. It could be more powerful, and it used to be super. You know, I don't know what the comparison in Australia, but our industrial workforce was all in the north of England. We had the Stoke-on-Trent, where we had we had 5 towns. They all made pottery. We had all the coal mines. Birmingham was almost the centre of that.
Yeah. I'm watching.
It all died down with the sort of disruption of the coal industry and all our industries, and the concentration on, you know, most of the money in England now comes from the financial world, London.
Yeah.
It's a real crying shame.
Yeah, I'm watching Peaky Blinders at the moment.
Right. I can tell you some stories about it. I read it is a great series. It's well played. Well done.
It is.
Great
It is.
story.
It is.
But when it was first came out in the very first season, the Daily Telegraph in England did a feature on the real Peaky Blinders, because the real Peaky Blinders was a true thing. And I don't know if you know, Mark, why they were called Peaky Blinders.
I've worked it out. with their hat and their razor blades and their caps, that they would blind you. So
yeah, interestingly enough, when I was a youngster, skinheads we had in England did the same on their coats. They put razor blades on the lapels on the inside. So if you grabbed hold of their lapels, you grabbed hold of razor blades.
Cut your hands.
Yeah. Very similar. But anyway, I just finished the story very briefly. So, Mark, I'm just showing that I can talk for the world. So you haven't hijacked the conversation at all. It's just been interesting to listen to you.
Thank you.
But the Peaky Blinders, they did a feature on it. They showed the photographs of the real Peaky Blinders.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them looked about 13 years old, maybe 14. Really? They were the sort of pickpockets of Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 5'2", 5'4" would have been the tallest one of them.
Mm.
They were a street gang.
Yeah.
So it's great how they extended it to be. They were sort of, involved in with the IRA and taking on the mafia in America.
Mm-hmm.
But in truth, it was a fairly well organized, admittedly, but it was a street gang.
Yeah.
Very small, waif-like creatures. I mean, I'm a skinny man. I look huge compared to the size of them. I would guess most of them will weigh in about 7 stone.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, right. I'll shut up.
All right, guys. I
Take care, Mark.
Catch you on the next one. This is not a bad time for me, Steve, and Johnny and Adrian. So you never know.
Have a great Aussie day.
Yeah, you too,
Well,
guys.
we'll see. We'll probably see you next week, Mark.
Mitch, have a beer for me at the Kiwi Wombat. I did read that you're catching up with Ryan in the morning, so I'm sure Steve there will have a few snags on the barbie. So make sure you have one for me, brother, and I'll be catching brown trout and having a snag for lunch. Cheers, I.
You hope.
Tight lines.
Thanks, Mark. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, Steve, I saw a girl once, those blinder things with the razor blades inside the lapels. I saw a girl in Patpong once that had razor blades in a pussy. Was that so that men couldn't interfere with her?
Actually, that came out of the Vietnam. That, with some of the rape and shit like that, the girls would actually insert razor blades. Yes, it was going to cut them apart, but it wasn't going to do the perpetrator any good.
So, gee, I got a surprise.
But what were they pulling out? Did they pull them out on a string, Adrian?
Yeah, on the string, like a gang of about 8 of them on the string. But I figured out the stunt. You know, they got like an empty toilet tube roll up the pussy, and the blades are inside that, so it's not actually cutting their skin inside the.
Good night, Mitch.
inside.
Thanks for
See
coming by, mate. Yeah, well,
If you investigate it very closely, you'll notice there's a tube up there
you know, the whole part about it is,
and a watch and a ring and a few other spare items, an old rubber, a lot of things in there.
yeah. Well,
Gentlemen, sorry to interrupt. But I've got to go and do a bit of cooking. I'll be back in 30 minutes if you're still up. But obviously, if you're not there, I won't be back. See you in 30 minutes.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Man has
no
to be-
problem. Don't wait for me.
Well, we certainly won't.
See you, chat. See ya. Back in a bit.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
want, Johnny? Do you want me to leave my avatar up or get rid of it?
Up to you. Up to you.
I'm going to leave it there then.
Your relaxing fish video on that. That's looking good, the fish pond.
Yeah, it is getting much better, isn't it? If you look
Yeah.
back to 3 months ago with all the weed and algae and whatever, yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, you got the missus doing a great job cleaning that up.
Well, no, it was buying I go out in the boat and clean up the weeds on the side, and she told me, she said, I'm going to buy these fish, 100 fish that will eat the algae, and I said, no, that's never going to happen, and it's worked, or the cold weather has killed it. I don't know, one of the two, but
She
anyway.
probably knows, she knows what she's talking about, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As I've said many times on here, the reason Vietnam was such a ridiculous war is that my wife could live off the land as easy as anybody that's been trained in the SAS.
Oh,
She
totally.
walks on beaches and can catch little stuff in the sand by sort of twirling her fingers around a bit. She knows everything you can eat in the pond, the garden. It's ridiculous, Adrian. And the Vietnam analogy was the hardest thing when you're in a war is the logistics, feeding the troops on the front line. If the troops on the front line don't need any logistics, they just eat as they go, life's great.
Yeah.
England did it many years ago. When we used to invade France, the whole idea was you went over there, you attacked a village, you raped and pillaged, and lots of war countries have done the same. You go over, you rape and pillage, but the rape and pillage is actually secondary to getting a lot of food, because as you transverse the country, you've got to eat.
Well, you
Anyway.
know, there's good food in that village, good wine, good food, and you want it.
Well, that's probably where the song came from. Wine, whiskey, and good women, and all that kind of shit. But I don't know about the rape part, but the whole thing is it'd be pretty good.
Anyway, I got to go. Back in 30 minutes.
No worries.
See ya.
See you, Steve. Yeah. Well, I often highlight that part in the war movies, after a big battle and whichever side's won the battle and taken over the town, all the troops are drinking all the local wine and caressing local women and eating all their food like lords. They're totally out of control.
Yeah. And the women are saying, well, they're eating all our food. I hope their supply trucks are coming. They're going to, if we behave ourselves, they're going to feed us. Well, well, that's a fallacy. But the whole part about it is war's war, and what do they say? War's hell. In this day and age, it's only the warmongers that create war because they make money out of it. There is no real reason. There's no real reason to have any wars.
Oh, you're just so correct, Johnny. You really are. Look at Zelensky and fucking Putin. They're just measuring each other's dick. So he's got the biggest dick. Who can piss up the wall the furthest? Who can kill the most civilians? Nah, fucking nuts.
Well, I've been watching old war movies from like the 60s and stuff lately because I'm a bit bored when there's nothing on. And I watched one, I think yesterday. It's called The Thin Red Line.
Yeah.
And
Thin Red Line?
The thin red line. It's an America versus Japan. They take over an island, right? That's defeat the Japanese in Guadalcanal. Anyhow, they have this huge battle and take over this the town or the village where the Japanese had occupied, and they're all partying on and drinking their booze and eating their food and having a big party at night, like Boy Scouts would at a campfire, I guess. And there's like still a load of Japanese. They were all dug in under the huts and shit, and they popped out with their machine guns and started mowing everyone down. So they were pretty smart. They waited until they drunk and partied and then got revenge on them. It was a good movie, The Thin Red Line. Yeah,
I have watched it. It doesn't come to mind. I probably watched it bloody a long time ago. But,
not all the old movies are great, but I kind of enjoyed that one, Thin Red Line.
I remember I used to laugh. A movie had come out of France or whatever, and they won the war. One had come out of Belgium, they won the war. American, they win the war. The Americans, the English, they won the war. The Australians, they participated in the war. They never come across it. They said but it depended on who predicted what. But at the end of the day, the Allied forces, kind of won it, but really, every one of them lost it. They all had losses.
I was listening to something the other day, Johnny. There was these Americans, and they're sitting there saying, "Why should America have to supply the Ukrainians with weapons? To fight off the Russians' invasion. So why should the Australians back up the Americans in Korea? Why should the Australians back up the Americans in Vietnam? Why should the Australians back up the? Shall we go on with it?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Actually, that's
why should we fucking go on with it?
Why the hell are this small country going to fight somebody else's fucking bullshit when we've got enough problems in our own country, and that money can be spent here on correcting some of the problems we have?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason is because we belong to NATO, and who supplies all the stuff? The NATO suppliers, and the bosses of NATO, the hierarchy of them, they all own those fucking companies. So it's a load of bullshit.
Well,
I just saw this afternoon that America's not going to be supplying Ukraine with the tanks. they've told them to bugger off. They're not getting the American tanks.
No, I
Who
read
wants
this morning that they were giving them the American tanks, and the Germans have turned around and given them the Leopard 2. And the Americans are going to
Well-
give them the Abraham.
Well,
Well,
the one I saw, there's the big,
And the English are going to give them 25, 30 Challenger tanks. Was it Challenger? I think it was, yeah.
the big general in charge of the American operations
Yeah.
there has come out and said like
Mm-hmm.
the Ukraine's not winning the war, and he doubts that Russia will be able to even ever be pushed out of the joint.
Well, if they
the
don't give
whole
the
thing-
Ukrainians the tools to eject them, Adrian, they're not going to push them out. Put
The
it
one-
that way.
the one part about it, if it wasn't for the Americans and not every common American, I'm talking about the shady, up the top, slime bag bastards, most of the politicians that were coming into it with their dodgy companies and all the rest of it. Hello, Nathan. You got a fan blowing.
Oh, yeah, that'd be the aircon.
Hey, Nathan,
Yep, keeping it to a lovely 27 degrees.
oh
Cooling
yeah,
down.
27 is good, and it's like 35 outside.
I don't need an aircon. I don't need an aircon for 27 degrees. I need a fucking heater.
What's the temperature outside, Nathan?
Oh, it's probably 30.
Mm.
Well, that's
It's been
not bad.
cool lately. It's been raining.
Well, it is the wet season, Nathan.
That it is. That it is.
You know that bridge down here, Nathan, the big river and bridge?
Yep.
That thing was fucking full and racing like rapids there last week.
How far off the bottom of the bridge was it?
Not that
Well,
far.
how's
My
that?
brother, he was telling me about it. He's come across there and he said, oh man, that's fucking full. Like nearly breaking the banks.
Yeah, I was going to say, must be nearly breaking the banks.
They must
that
have opened the
vertical,
dam.
man.
Opened the dam up, I'd say. Hey.
Yep. Dam's probably already full.
I've got to get up to that dam and have a look. I reckon it'd be good up at that dam.
Yeah, for sure. I think they got freshwater fishing licenses there for dams like that, and they stock them up, huh?
Yeah. Well, as you know, I don't know much about land fishing, eh? Oh, you know what? A local guy told me about that causeway where you were riding, the barrows would be there.
Yeah.
A guy has told me recently that the second flooding on the causeway is the time to catch the barra there.
Yeah, righto.
The first time it's racing over there is not actually the best time. Go down there when if it happens, like a second time closely after.
Yep. Oh, no, you guys have had rain down there. It would have flooded before we got there.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have got a line in there. That fucking cop with his booze test machine put us off, I think.
Sure as hell did.
Put me off.
Yeah, so I said, fuck this, we're out of here.
Mate, I was shaking all the way home. There's some fucking hillbilly places around, eh, Nathan, down there?
Yeah. What about the sign when we're coming in? Caution. Watch out for elderly drunk people.
That's their official fucking welcome sign for the town.
Yeah.
Fucking official sign caution. Watch out for the elderly drunk people in this town. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, I thought I took a photo of that, but it didn't. Obviously, didn't take it.
Them two little kids fishing like, oh, they weren't that little. They're about probably 12 to 14. But I said to one of them, I said to one of them, like, it's out this boat ramp. I said to one of them, oh, do you think there's any crocodiles around here? He goes, oh, yeah, there's a 12-foot saltwater croc just over there.
Oh yeah, that place would be just riddled with them. Riddled. That whole floodplain. Look how many mangroves is in there in that delta.
It's put me off buying a punt boat with a flat bottom. I had this stupid idea, Nathan, to get a flat bottom punt, like about a 12-foot punt, they call them, and put like a Perspex viewing bottom in it, right? So you could see the bottom and what fish are down there. And that until the fucking crocodile can get over the fucking side of them punts pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, they've taken people out of their boats up here. Crocs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be cool, eh? Have a like about a half-inch Perspex bottom in a boat, so you could see what's down there, and even navigating up the creek or the rivers, like you'd be able to see like the bottom, how shallow it's getting, and that through that if you had a viewing bottom in it.
No, what you want's a camera on a stick.
Or a camera, yeah, a camera with a monitor. Yeah,
that's what you want. Have a look around, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. A camera with a monitor. Yeah.
Yeah, if only the Bluetooth would work through the water, you get a GoPro and put that on a stick. But I don't think the Bluetooth would pick up through the water.
Yeah, I know Wi-Fi doesn't work through water.
Yeah.
I used to try it in my pool with the live stream. I'd go under with the phone and the stream would cut out.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, I saw that picture of that bearing that you showed me. That was fucking only just made it back, eh?
It was howling, put it that way. We should have just done both of them.
Yeah,
Solid,
we
man.
should have done them both, yeah. That pool would have come in handy once again, eh?
Yeah, I did.
The bearing
Sure.
puller. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't coming off easily.
No, man.
I've done it before without a puller.
I finished my paving the other day.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yeah. I'll move on to the next project now. Yeah, come up good. Looking very nice.
Yeah, that'd be a nice place when you finish, when you're done with it.
I've ripped all the fucking carport down and the crane, the hoist fucking thing that was in the yard there. I've ripped all that down. Got it all
How far
out.
in the ground was that?
About 3 foot. Had a huge hunk of concrete. You know, that jackhammer I got just fucking ripped through it.
Yeah, that thing's mad, eh?
Yeah, that's the
Couple
best.
$100.
Best $200 I ever spent was buying that thing.
Yeah. That's off its head, that thing.
I'll be putting it to use once again on the next project. Yeah, so I made room for the trucks and shit to get in. Actually, I probably can't really start that next project with the gate and shit until the trucks have fucking done all this shit in the back.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it as it is until they're done, I think. Yeah, the concreters and crap, yeah.
Oh, the concrete trucks will break your concrete up.
Exactly, yeah. Yep. Yeah, man. Just having a bit of a rest. Yeah, might take a few weeks off and kick back and live a little. I felt better when I was doing shit in the morning, so like I'd done nothing today and I went down to the pub for lunch. I only had 2 beers and a meal and I thought, oh, man, I just didn't fucking feel right. I felt like bloated or something. I just couldn't get into it. I can only had 2 beers and went home.
That's probably a good thing.
Maybe, yeah, probably is. Did you go down to the pub there for lunch on the way home before you went heading north?
No.
Okay.
No, hit it straight out.
My favourite little barmaid in there, she said, "Oh, I think I saw your mate in here." This was like the day after you left sort of thing. And she said, "Oh, I think I saw your mate in here having lunch yesterday." But she wasn't sure. But she gave me a description and I thought, oh, yeah, that sounds like Nathan. Yeah, maybe it was.
Did he leave a lasting impression?
No, he was very good. He was very good, actually. I'm the one that got refused drinks. They closed the bar because of me at one pub.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
Yep.
Didn't they, Nathan?
But Adrian off tap. Oh, so
Well, they say you're drunk, you idiot. Piss off home. You're
Well,
not getting
basically, Johnny, they did. But like, I wasn't really drunk at all.
no, not that drunk.
we all say that.
I wasn't swearing. I wasn't like I hadn't fallen over at all. I hadn't stumbled. I hadn't spilled a drink.
Might have been a previous experience, Adrian.
Well, could have been.
It's happened, mate.
right.
I walked into a pub sober and got kicked out. You're too drunk. Yeah, of course. It was all the night before, Adrian. I was a fucking pig.
No, but the barman was really cool up until that point. Like he was sitting there talking to him. Nathan knew exactly where he was from and everything, and having a great talk with him about 4-wheel driving and all this shit. Then all of a sudden they go, "Oh, the bar's closed for you, mate." What are you talking about?
Yeah. You're on your way, man. Because when
I was getting there. I've got to say, but I wasn't.
You don't want that to happen in a small town.
Yeah, so how many pubs you got there, Adrian?
Well, I was smart enough not to argue about it. I said, "No, fair enough."
Okay. Well, fair enough then. I'd get back up there, mate, and do a bit of sucking, real bad.
And that's how I know that I wasn't really drunk, because when you're really pissed, you start arguing with them like, "I'm not fucking pissed. Just give me another beer, you can't," and fucking, you know. And that's when it really takes off. But didn't do any of that. Just went, okay, fair enough, whatever. Nathan says, "Oh, I think it's time we go."
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Oh, you were wasted, man. You wanted me and you to drink that whole litre bottle of Jim Beam. Remember? You don't remember having a barbecue either.
No, man, I can't remember any of that once we got back. The
Yeah,
Jim
one
Beam,
stiff-
the barbecue, I can't remember one single thing about any of that, Nathan.
Yep, one stiff glass of bourbon, man, and you were woman on your way, man.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking
I'm
horrors.
not allowed to mix me drinks. Like, that's my downfall. So after having, like, I don't know, a dozen beers or something, and then for some reason switch to Bundy or any form of spirits, that really fucks me up.
You know what it is, Adrian? It's because you drink the spirits and then you drink the beer first, and you're not realizing that you got the spirits in your hand. You drink it like a beer, and then I fucking smash. Happens to me all the time, mate. That's why I don't mix drinks. When fucking death sentence, mate. You fuck. That's where that low cow in fucking Thailand. You know that shit that they sell. I'd be drinking, swigging on a couple of cans, mate, and then get a bottle of that shit. Fucking, I killed myself.
Yeah,
Swigging it down.
yeah, it's a fatal mistake for me switching to the spirits after that.
Oh, it's okay if you start on the spirits and switch over to beer, but the other way around is fucking. Ooh.
that Lao cow, I remember I had a couple of sips of the stubby and just poured it into the bloody the fuel tank of the motorcycle, and it never had a problem.
Yeah, had a motorbike go, all right. Clean the spark plugs in fucking Thailand.
Yeah, well, the one thing about it wasn't hard to control, but it certainly had a bit of bark about it.
Did it have that sweet smell like the Speedway tracks, the methanol cars? That sweet smell you get from methanol motors?
Near enough. That kind of jet fuel-y kind of.
Rocket fuel.
Now, next question: did you just suck on the exhaust pipe?
No,
Johnny burnt his fucking lips.
That's where all the Irishmen, when they were blowing up cars, they caught them because they had burns on their lips. Latch on the exhaust pipe. Yeah, that one was for you, Radar, just in case you're listening.
He will be.
Oh, yeah, doesn't matter. Anyhow, gentlemen, I think it's about time to call it quits.
All right, mate. Been a good chat, mate. That was a really good. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, good. Yeah. It was a good chat, and I really appreciate everybody that's dropped by, give us the support. Everybody that's joined the panel, fantastic. I think we'll do it again next week.
Why not?
So on that point, I will say good night to everybody. And, it's not quite Australia Day yet, but happy Australia Day. Be proud of who you are and what you are. Forget about the rest of the bullshit. So on that, I'll say good night.
Thanks, Johnny. Cheers, guys. Good night, all.
Yeah, good night.
Later, Johnny.